And we're back with another video. I don't know why I sounded so nervous there for a second. I'm not nervous. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. Today we're doing the eyeshadow palette challenge tag, or whatever you call it. Tag, I think it's a tag. I think that's the general thing. The general consensus as to what it's called. I'm so sorry that my camera keeps moving. It's because I'm adjusting so much stuff on my desk that I keep moving. Anyway, let's get into it. I actually borrowed, like, this thing has been going around on YouTube for a while now, at least a couple weeks. I'm behind because I'm lazy, which is not something you should strive for as a YouTuber. Yet here we are. So let's kind of just jump right into this. I had these organized like 2 seconds ago and then I screwed myself up. So I flipped them upside down. I didn't mean to. Okay, so the first question is newest palette. This is actually a toss-up between two. I can't remember when I got them. I think the second one is actually, but it's part of another part. So this is one of the newest palettes I have. It's the Jackie Aina times Anastasia Beverly Hills, and it's beautiful. It's just this beautiful, beautiful palette. It has a lot of wonderful colors that are perfect for any type of skin tone, but these ones are perfect transition shades for anyone in the darker skin tone range. And this palette is just so fun to use. The looks that I've done with this, there's so many, and I really love using this palette just because it's got so much going on, and I just really like it, you know. I do like a lot of Anastasia Beverly Hills palettes though, so that's where we're at. Okay, my oldest palette. This one was when I was like really getting into like the higher end type of Sephora style makeup, and I really loved Graveyard Girl. And when she came out with this palette, I was super excited because it was so nice. It was my first like big purchase. Unfortunately, this didn't work for me. This didn't work for me. This was like, it was very chunky, but I used a lot of these in like transition shades, and you can see like natural peaches. I used a lot of, like, I actually panned it. It still smells like vanilla. I think it's vanilla. But yeah, this is my oldest palette. I still keep it around. I haven't used it in a long time, but it does have a really nice purple that I keep looking for, forgetting that I have it already. So maybe I should get back into it. Okay, my most expensive palette. It's the Coral Crush by Violet Voss. This one was 55 Canadian dollars. And it's just all coral. Just all various shades of coral. If you know me really well, you know that I've been on the hunt for literal years to find the perfect coral shade that actually would look nice on me, would match my skin tone, and so I bought a whole entire coral palette in the hopes that it would work for me. It's really nice, I'll give it that, but I don't know if I'll ever find the coral of my dreams. So the second one we've got here is the most affordable palette. I have the Opposite Attract by e.l.f. Cosmetics, and this is really funny because I bought it for these two shades, the coral ones. Is there a theme here? Perhaps. Yeah, It's really affordable. I think I got it for like $8 or something, or 16. One of the two numbers, 8 or 16, but it works pretty well. Naturally, like, the black isn't going to be your best bet, but I haven't really had any issues with them. I have done a lot of looks with this palette, and for the price that you're paying, it's really good. It works. Okay, so everyday palette. I feel like this is like everybody's, like everyone that I've seen so far who's done this challenge, Modern Renaissance, always makes an appearance. And honestly, I haven't even panned this, but I use this often enough that you could say that it's everyday. The only one I've panned is Bon Fresco, and it's just very, very lightly panned. I love this palette. It's one of my favorites. I would probably end up repurchasing because it's really pretty. It works. It's always worked. I've never had any issues with it. I would use it every day if I wore makeup every day, which I don't. Okay, so my most colorful palette is the Zulu by Juvia's Place. And as you can see, it is very colorful. I have a lot of Juvia's Place palettes. I don't have all of them, but I have quite a few. She has a coral palette too, and I'm like, you tempted me, but I already have a coral palette, so I don't know what I'm gonna do. But yes, and this is my most colorful palette. It's the Zulu by Juvia's Place. It's really nice. It's really pigmented. I've never had any complaints when it comes to Juvia's Place. These are just like lazy finger swatches. Yeah, it's good. Like I said, most of Juvia's Place I've never had any problems with. Everything is really pigmented and it's really easy to blend. Perfect, perfect, perfect. All right, now moving on. Smallest palette. I've got two itty bitty palettes here. I have the Huda Beauty Emerald Obsessions palette, and I have the MAC X Aaliyah times Aaliyah MAC. So they have the same amount of colors, but I feel like MAC would fit this situation more because they're very tiny. And I don't use it much because I'm just like, I had to have it because it was Aaliyah. You know? My biggest palette is Masquerade by Juvia's Place. It's pretty big. It's a big boy. Oof. It has 16 colors. I dropped it one time, so 15 colors. But this is Masquerade by Juvia's Place. It's very, very colorful. It's really hard to, like, oh, man, it's really hard to get through and pan these, but that's my biggest palette. Best memory. This is such a weird concept, but I actually wore Modern Renaissance at my wedding, and so naturally I have to say this one because I wore it when I got married, and it was a wonderful, beautiful day. So, all right, worth the hype. Saharan 2 by Juvia's Place. Actually, these shimmers, they have such amazing payoff, and they blend so well together. I don't know, this palette Every time I went to go purchase it, it was sold out. And I was like, okay, so there's got to be a reason why this thing is always sold out. And I finally was able to pick it up, and woo! Swatches like really speak for themselves, because like I always apply all the shimmers from Juvia's Place with my fingers because it always gives the best color payoff. But even if you're using like a dense packing brush, it's still gonna provide the same amount of coverage. Well, for the most part, the same amount of coverage. Let me just show you what I mean. So this here is just like a regular dense packing brush. You still get, like, as long as you have a nice dense enough brush, you still get pretty much the same payoff as if you were finger swatching. So 10 out of 10. Would recommend the Saharan 2 by Juvia's Place. Not worth the hype. I got this one once again on the hunt. And I got this a really long time ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. I don't even remember when I got it. But I got it a long time ago, and it's the Pastel Goth by back when it was Kat Von D, not KVD. And they're really chalky. They weren't smooth. And I don't know. Once again, this is another situation where I'm like, I grabbed it for this. I don't even know how much this was. It was limited edition. I bought it because of the peach color. Will I learn? Probably not. I mean, I still used it often enough because, you know, when you're looking for coral or whatever, you just do it. This one, not worth the hype. It was okay. It put pigment on my eyes. You know, that's where you're at, man. Fave palette from a favorite brand. I'm gonna go with Subculture. When I first heard about like the drama that was going down with the Subculture palette, I decided to wait a couple months, maybe see if they were doing a reformulation, and watch everybody else's swatches. And like in watching everybody else work with the palette, I realized that it was just like a matter of like how you used everything and like using a light hand and building all the color up. And so I've decided to dive in, and this one is probably my fave palette from Anastasia, but it's got some really good competition with Jackie Aina. So, and the Saharan by Juvia's Place. There's like, I've got the constant fighting in my head, like which one's better? But this one is definitely one of my favorite palettes. I use it all the time. I like to like sit in here and do like vampire looks, specifically from Queen of the Damned movie. Like that's my vibes. My vibes are always like, if I could just be a vampire, not even specifically like Lestat or Akasha, I just want to be a vampire in that series. And just look like them, you know? They were all just like ethereal, and they had like the green in their eye, and like this is it. This is how every single look that is a vampire look that I do is from this palette. Just so you know. And finally, last but not least, most used palette. Now, you would think that the everyday palette would be your most used palette. And for some people, I think that's very true. But this Magic Mini by Juvia's Place is 100% my most used. When I first got it, I did so many looks with this, and even now when I'm looking for like a very specific type of look, I'll still jump back to this because it's got grays and like dark greens and bright greens and dark blues and like an indigo and like purple, and a good like mix these for a good transition color. These are really nice shimmers. All the shimmers in here are perfect. Like this is an iridescent shimmer, and you know, this gold here is a very specific type of yellow gold that is really hard to find in shadows. So this one, if you like look back on my Instagram, a lot of the looks that I do actually feature this palette because it's so versatile, it's so easy to use. There was no hype. Anytime that I looked up Juvia's Place, this is why this isn't in the most hyped, because nobody really used it, nobody really talked about it. Everybody was talking about the Sahara, and I think it's just because of those like nice transitional colors of like, not transitional, but like really easy to blend colors. Not many people talked about this one, and this one is just so good. I think if you were going to buy a Juvia's Place palette, it would either be the Saharan 2 or this one would be your best bet, I would say. And today's look is actually using, I want to say Subculture. Yeah, today's look on my face is actually Subculture. I used fudge and Adore. I just blended fudge all over my eyeballs, and then I put Adore from the middle to the inner corner. Yeah, that's the palette tag challenge. It's not really a challenge when you think about it, so it's more like a tag. It's the eyeshadow palette tag. But that's actually most of my palettes. I only have like 3 other Juvia's Place. Not very many other eyeshadow palettes. Most of my eyeshadow palettes are actually Juvia's Place because I have a problem. And I really, really like Juvia's Place. And I really like Anastasia. This is only 3. I know a lot of people who actually have more, but it's like, I'm always like, do I want to spend $45 Canadian on a palette? Not really. So I wait. I'm just gonna get stuff all over my pants. Anyway, this was really fun. It was really fun getting all my palettes together. Yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I hope you have a wonderful day. I can't wait to take 3 weeks to post another video. Bye.